When it comes to the different items that you can pack, as in what to pack kit-wise for your survival, what I'm about to say to you next has taken freaking years of research, study, putting into practice, role play for myself personally to get to what I'm about to say to you next. But first of all, right, just want to give you a couple of examples. You may click onto YouTube and you'll come across someone that says top 10 items that you must pack for your survival bag. And you watch it and you think, oh, that's very interesting. You know, he's saying pack a knife, pack this, pack this, pack this, right? But then you may click on another video and someone else will say top 10 items to pack, and it's completely different from the other guy's items. And you think, well, that's not very helpful. This guy's saying pack this and this person's saying pack these 10 items, and you'll click on another video and someone will say top 5 items. And you think, well, this is completely useless because all 3 people are saying different things. They may have 1 or 2 items in common with each other, but they are pretty much completely different. And so then you get to this point where you're like, well, what am I supposed to pack? I don't know what I'm supposed to pack. Let me tell you something now, right? What they are basing their packing needs on is themselves. Them. When you watch them, right, and this is true, they are packing their 10 top essential survival tools or whatever based on themselves. So yes, to them, when they say top 10 items to pack within your survival bag, yes, it really is, but for him, not necessarily for you or for me. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, let's break this down a little bit more. What are they basing their 10 top items on? They're basing it on, first of all, themselves, their health, their finances, and what else? Their location, where they are planning on surviving to. They are basing their top 10 items on the terrain that they plan to survive in. But does that mean that the terrain you're going to survive in is the same as their terrain? No, it doesn't mean that. If you are planning to flee to a location that is the same sort of terrain as them, then yes, you're okay. But if you're not, you're screwing yourself straight away. So when you come across multiple people on YouTube and different books and all of it all over the world, you know, you must pack this, this is the way that you survive, they are basing it off of themselves, their health, their finances, and the location in which they are planning to survive within. Years worth of research, study, roleplay, putting this into practice for what I just said to you. All right, here's the truth of the matter. When it comes to preparing kit, as in what to pack into your survival gear, you prepare based on your circumstances, not anybody else's. All right? What is your health? What is your finances? Do you have to look after others? Any disabilities? You. What is the environment in which you're going to survive in? Is it hot, desert environment? Is it ice, cold environment? Is it a wet, tropical environment? Is it sunny and then wet like England? Our weather here is terrible. It's 1 minute it's sunny, the next minute it's raining. What is the environment that you're going to be fleeing into? This now comes down to location intelligence. The intelligence that you have gathered on your location is what you base your prepping, your packing on, along with your personal situation, health, finances, disabilities, you. But even though we're all going to be fleeing to different safe locations, different environments, we all have something in common. Survival principles. It doesn't matter if you're fleeing into a wet, windy environment, snow and ice, desert extreme heats, you still got to eat. You don't eat, you're going to starve to death. You still got to sleep, because if you don't sleep, you're going to go insane. You still need to go to the toilet. Does it matter that you're in a wet, windy environment, freezing blizzard conditions, or massive desert heat? No. Doesn't matter which environment you're in, you still got to eat, you still got to sleep, you still got to go toilet. And obviously drink water and all the rest of it. Survival principles. So we have survival principles exactly the same. These are our core needs. are essential needs. Without covering these needs, we're either going to suffer very badly or we're going to die. So we all have core essential survival needs exactly the same. The only difference to this is this. If you flee to a desert environment, then you're going to be wanting to pack hot weather gear, lightweight clothing, packing the sort of kit that is suitable for that environment. But if you're fleeing to a freezing cold environment, then you obviously need to focus on keeping warm. So layers. And you need to focus your kit on a cold environment. Do you see what I'm saying? So when it comes to what to pack, I would say there are hundreds of different variations. But as long as you cover our survival principles, our core needs, then you're not going to go wrong. So you base your packing and your preparing, first of all, on yourself, your personal circumstances, your loved ones' circumstances. You then base your packing and preparing on your safe location. As long as we cover our core essential needs, you're going to be all right. And so that is how you know what you are supposed to pack. And as I'm talking to you, I feel our Lord's presence upon me. Please pray about this. Right, let's go to our personal plan. Turn to page 89, what to pack. Let's keep this simple. What we pack is based on our survival needs. Shelter, clothing, sleep, water, food, medication, first aid, toilet and hygiene, moving from A to B, light at night, protection. I understand that people are in different positions from each other, such as finances, health and taking care of family members. No matter the circumstances, we need to prepare our best within our personal circumstances. All of our survival needs remain the same. Now that we have the list above, we also need to factor in our safe location and a vehicle as a form of shelter, or at least be sharing with someone else. So let's put this list together again. Safe location, vehicle, shelter, clothing, sleep, water, food, medication, first aid, toilet and hygiene, moving from A to B, light at night, protection. All you need to do is work through this list one by one. Make sure to have a plan in place for each one. It is now a tick list. Once you have put a plan in place for each one, tick the box off. Next, write it up in your draft plan so that it's ready for your personal plan. We're going to stop here. Now let's talk about survival corporations, companies and businesses for a moment. And just quickly, I have no vendetta against any of them. I have no anger, nothing. But just in general, so you know the truth. And this is in most cases, not all of them, alright? But in most cases, these corporations, companies and businesses are only interested in one thing when it concerns you. And that's this. They don't necessarily care about you. They don't care about your survival. All they care about is taking as much money out of your pocket as they possibly can. And they're basing this on one thing. That one thing that they're basing this on is that you may have very little knowledge when it comes to survival skills. In fact, they are homing in on this. They are taking advantage. They're exploiting and they're banking on the very fact that you know very little. And so what a lot of these big companies do is they will build a pack. They will put survival items within this pack, right? And they will charge you about $500 to $700 for the pack. But if you open the pack up and you take the contents out and spread it out in front of you and really look at each item, what you'll realise in most cases that it is just cheap, worthless crap that probably won't actually work in real life survival and certainly won't last you a long period of time. And that's what they're doing. And what they do when they come to marketing is they will take like an item, say a ferro rod, ferrocerium rod, right? They will put glamorous pictures behind it, fancy words, survival, have this in survival, it'll work, it's amazing, like, you know, whatever crap they come out with, right? And they're bank on the fact that you know no better. And you'll go, yeah, it looks legit, the pictures are there, the fancy words are there, it's a whole complete survival pack, mate. Yes, this is what I need for survival. Here you go, company, $700. They have just ripped you right off. They have mugged you beyond words, mate. Because that very pack you could have put together for less than $100. This is the truth. I'm here because I genuinely want to help you. This is a ministry, this is not a business. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on page 90 together. As really, what our packing comes down to is page 90. We're going to keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to guide you through each tick box one at a time. And we're going to do this as in a video on each box, with the aim being that you pack yourself a really decent kit that is customized to yourself and your loved ones based on your safe location. A kit that's actually going to work and last a long time. And at the same time, potentially saving you an absolute fortune. As we work through, I'm going to really break it down and try and help you to understand why you're packing the items that you're packing. Now remember, as I said earlier, there are literally hundreds of different variations of what we can pack. Again, depends on our personal circumstances and the location that we're fleeing to. Unfortunately, I can't cover all the hundreds of variations. All I'm going to do is show one variation, and that's my personal packing based on me and my safe location. But I'm doing this as the example. But remember, you need to pack based on your circumstances and your safe location. But follow my example as a guideline for yourself. Now, like I've explained, our locations are different. Different climates, different temperatures, different wildlife, different vegetation. But our survival principles remain the same. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you, you can also use or pack into your kit for yourself, because our survival principles are exactly the same. So as we go through, let's pick sleep for example. I'm not just going to show you a sleeping bag and a roll mat and say, pack a sleeping bag and a roll mat because this is what you need to sleep in. No. What we're going to do is we're going to really break it down so we fully understand why we're packing it and for what reason. Like, what we have to do is we have to understand the survival need in the first place to then equal what we pack and packing the best item for us. So look, I've created this, all right? This is based on shelter. This is just a quick example, and this is what I'm going to do in the videos that follow after this. All right, so shelter. Now, modern, primitive. Most of us right now live in houses, flats, condos, rooms. That's now. And we understand why we need to live in a house or a flat room, because otherwise we'd be outside and we'd be homeless and it'd be really miserable. So we understand why we need to live in a house. When we flee, we don't want to flee primitive, because this is like caveman level. Kind of funny really, but it is. It's caveman living sort of thing, right? So you're not going to flee into real life survival as a caveman straight away. Why would you want to do that? That's just madness in my opinion, unless you really want to do it. And I'm not calling you mad, but like that does not make sense to me. What we want to aim to do is flee into modern. So shelter, RV, camper van, motorhome. That is the closest that we have to normality in a survival situation. Primitive. Well, you're looking at things like caves and building bushcraft shelters, TP, A-frame, lean-to, primitive shelters. But why is it in this order? Well, like I say, you don't want to flee into survival and be a caveman straight away. Why would you do that? That just makes no sense to me. You want to flee into survival using modern. So for shelters, vehicles. But here's the thing. If you get compromised from your vehicle, an RV, it could be a wildfire, it could be a tornado, it could be people chasing you and hunting you down, it could be wild predators. There are a million reasons why you'd have to leave your vehicle. You then go into primitive. And you need to know how to build primitive shelters so that you've always got a shelter. But keep in mind, things start to deplete. So say for example, you flee with like cotton wool and Vaseline to get your fires going. Eventually that's going to run out. You're then onto primitive. You need to know how to make a fire without cotton wool and Vaseline. Say you flee with bottles of water. Your bottles of water are eventually going to run out. You need to know how to filtrate and purify water. Say you pack loads of food and you've eaten all your food and it's ran out. You now need to know how to forage and hunt for your food. Do you see what I'm saying? So by knowing the steps, now fleeing into modern, into primitive, we know the sort of items that we need to pack within our kit. We always go for modern first and then we go for primitive. Pack modern, know what we're packing modern to aid us within our survival, and understand and know that supplies are going to run out, or you may be compromised from your vehicle and you need to build a primitive shelter. So it's understanding what we are packing and preparing for. And that way we can get the best possible kit together without in most cases being ripped off by big companies, customizing what we are packing for our own personal needs based on our safe location. Now let's go back to page 90. Great news, already we can tick 2 of these boxes off. Safe location, we're already a part of it, we've got a safe location. Vehicle, we've covered vehicles, we can tick that off. Next, we're on to shelter. Now yes, you will be using your vehicle as your main shelter, but this also covers those of you that don't have a vehicle and can't share with anyone else, and it covers primitive shelters. So in the next video, we will cover shelter based on this. Thank you for watching. To build a personal plan and to be a part of a Christian community, preparing for natural disasters and the hard times ahead, watch this playlist, first link in the description, and I will guide you through step by step in what to do. Please feel free to support my work by giving a one-off or monthly donation, second link in the description. Thank you and bless you.